जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् अजं निर्विकल्पं निराकारम् एकं निरानन्दमानन्दमद्वैतम् परं निर्गुणं निर्विशेषं निरीहं परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजे। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि प्रारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धौतु मे सदा। या श्रद्धा धारणा मेधा वाग्देवी विधिवल्लभ भक्तजिह्वाग्रसदना क्षमादिगुणदायिनी मौनव्याख्या प्रकटितपरब्रह्मतत्त्वं युवानम् इष्टान्ते वसदृशिगणैरावृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठै आचार्येन्द्रं करकलितचित्तप्रमानन्दं आत्मा रामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिं व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णुवै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय यं प्रव्रजन्तमपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातराजुहाव प्रेति तन्मयतया तरवो नेतुं सर्वभूतहृदयं आनतु। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं मामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं व्याप्तं जगद्येन चिदात्मभावात् रज्ज्वा यथा हि चराचरं यत् तन्यस्य सर्वं च सदात्मभावे अयं समस्तः बभूवयस्तु निस्सङ्गनिर्मुक्तिपदं प्रपद्य ब्रह्मात्मभावेन विराजितः श्रीसौम्यदाशीशम् ईश्वराय मयि नमः स्वामिकम्। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं मामयं वन्दे तेजोमयं नित्यं गुरुं ज्ञानप्रभाकरं यस्यैककिरणादेव नष्टा विद्यातमः सदा। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ते तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तहृदकं नित्यं परम् धर्मप्रोज्झितकैटवोऽत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सताम् वेद्यं वास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनम् श्रीमद्भागवते महामृते पापरैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृद्यवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः विस्तक्षणात् निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं गतभागवतं रसमालयं रसिकाः विभावुकाः श्रीविभूषितकरान्नवनीरदाभात् पीताम्बराधर्मपिण्डफलाधरोन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं तत्त्वमहं परमहंसा स्वादितचरणकमलचिन्मकरन्दाय जनमानसनिवासाय रामचन्द्राय Om. I want to begin by dedicating today's session to Swamini Nishthananda, my grandmother, mother's aunt. The Swamini in the mission, she has been there since the early 80s. As a doctor, she renounced her practice and went to Siddhabadi to serve there was given sannyas by Guruji. Now at the age of 98, she is in her last days, very unwell. She's not able to eat, not able to digest anything. And she's barely able to speak, but with what words she has, she's constantly chanting Bhagavatam, she chants Rasalila Shloka, she chants Narayaniyam, she chants Upanishad. Other than that, she's barely able to speak. Sometimes she's disoriented. But when it comes to Shastra, she's very clear and bright. Her whole life has been given to Guruji. I pray now that her passing should be easy, painless, without too much of suffering and indignity. I pray to Bhagavan, pray to Bhagavatam itself, protect her, to guide her. Last time I had given a brief introduction to the seventh canto and explained its topic, Utayaha, explains the different kinds of vasanas. So we see the Asuri vasanas in the form of Hiranyakashipu. We see the human, the Manavi vasanas in Yudhishthira, and in Prahlada, we see the Daivi vasanas, the divine mind. So we'll jump right in. The previous canto ended with the story of Vritrasura. Now, Bhagavan, Parikshit Raja got a doubt. See, both Vritrasura and Indra were devotees of Bhagavan. Very intense devotion both had. But Bhagavan supported Indra. Indra won in the battle. Vritrasura was killed. So, is it fair? Bhagavan taking sides between his devotees. How can that be? Because Bhagavan is supposed to be equal to all. So please clarify this doubt. Our Shukadevji replies that this is a very correct question. It's a good question. And you're right. Bhagavan is equal to all. When do we take sides? Generally, we take sides when we feel a greater identification with one person over the other. But Bhagavan has no such identification. Bhagavan sees oneness in all. Therefore, this reason for taking sides is not possible. The other reason we may support one person over the other is if we feel that this person is giving me some benefit. I may gain some wealth, I may gain power, fame, knowledge by siding with this person rather than with this person. But Bhagavan is the very source of all knowledge, all wisdom, all wealth, all fame, all beauty, everything. That is what the word Bhagavan itself means. No? Therefore, this reason also cannot be a cause for Bhagavan to take sides. Therefore, thus all the causes for taking sides are not valid in the case of Bhagavan. He is equal to all already. It may appear to us as though he is taking sides. That's because we feel, from our point of view, we are identified with the body. Therefore, we feel Bhagavan sided with Indra by allowing him to preserve his body and went against Vritrasura by making him leave the body. But for Indra to remain as Indra in the Indrapada, tongue twister, so is very necessary. Because finally Indra is the sattvic being who will hold that position and do justice to it. So for the samashti purpose, it is required. And for Indra's own development, it is required because there are lessons that he has to learn in that position. Whereas in the case of Vritrasura, we saw he had already exhausted all his sattvic rajasic vasanas. Only few tamasic vasanas had to be lived out. He had lived it out in the form of Vritrasura. So now he had no more need for a body, and Bhagwan absorbed him into him. So it was what was good for Vritra also, what was good for Indra also, what was good for all of us also. Because we got such lovely shlokas from them. So Bhagavan is equal to everybody by giving them what they need, not what we think will be nice for them, but what Bhagavan knows is in their hita. Furthermore, as far as this balance of power between Devas and Asuras is concerned, Shukadev ji says this whole world, is made up of Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. It's a mix. And these three gunas will always be there. And then balance among them will keep shifting. So if at one point Sattva is predominant, Devatas will be in power. If Rajas becomes predominant, Asuras come to power. If Tamas becomes predominant, Rakshasas come to power. But this is all part of the cycle of time. Bhagavan doesn't interfere in it too much. He lets it go. When does he intervene? We will see. He intervenes mainly Paritranaya Sadhuna to protect his devotees. Dushkrita Vinasha comes only as subservient to that. In order to protect his devotees, he may destroy the wicked ones. But that protecting devotees comes first. Paritranaya Sadhana. And when that happens, Dharma Samsthapana is natural. Because where there are sadhus flourishing, Dharma will flourish. Now, Shukadev ji says, this same question also was asked by Yudhishthira to Narada during the Rajasuya Yajna. See what happened there? There was Shishupala. We saw no three times that Jaya Vijaya had to be born. One says Hiranyaksha Hiranyakashipu, one says Ravana Kumbhakarna, and one says Shishupala Dantavakra. So in Krishna Avatara, there was Shishupala and Dantavakra. They were also there at the Rajasuya Yajna of Yudhishthira Maharaj. And there, all the great kings were assembled, all the great rishis up to Vedavyasa Maharaj, everybody was there. And there was a doubt. Who should be worshipped first? Agra Puja. Whose puja should be done first? And they asked Bhishma Pitamaha as the Dharmajna. And he said, why is there even a question about it? Krishna should be worshipped above all else. All Sarvadeva Namaskaraha Keshavam Pratikachati. So Krishna alone should be worshipped. And at least first he should be worshipped. Everybody agreed to this, very good. But only Shishupala disagreed. And he said all sorts of nasty things. It is given in detail in Sabha Parva of Mahabharata. It's an interesting read. Interesting, why? Not to read somebody cursing Bhagavan and calling him names, not for that purpose, but to see how those very words insulting Bhagavan also contain a stuti in them. This is explained beautifully in the Nilakantha Bhashya to Mahabharata. Those who are familiar with Sanskrit may read and get great ananda out of it. Anyway, because Bhagavan was waiting patiently. Everybody thought Bhagavan should just finish him off. Bhagavan said, I'll wait, give him time. Let him go till 100. The 100th insult, then he will be finished. Actually, Bhagavan was beyond Ninda Stuti. It was not of that at all. By the time he reached the end of his blasting, that Shishupala ran out of things to say about Bhagavan. He started insulting Bhishma Pitamaha also. So when the devotee was insulted, then the Sudarshana Chakra came, cut off his head, the Jyoti emerged from Shishupala and became one with Krishna. In this, Yudhishthira was shocked. The Shishupala got moksha. Bhishma Pitamaha who gave Sahasranama in devotion, that Bhishma Pitamaha did not get it at that time. Shishupala got it first. The Rishi Munis who had done so much of tapas who were there did not get. Shishupala got. While the Pandavas, Arjuna, they didn't get. Shishupala got. That also, not even 1008 names, not even 108 names, in the 100th name he was. So Yudhishthira said, how can this be? Seems very unfair. And also, he asked Narada Muni, you remember there was one Raja named Vena, we saw about him in the 4th canto, in the Prithu Charitra. That Raja Vena was a terrible fellow and he didn't allow anybody to worship Bhagwan and he felt everybody should worship him only. And he was killed by the Brahmanas curse. He didn't get liberation. Now this same Shishupala is insulting Bhagwan, doing all the same thing. He got liberation. How is it fair? So Narada Muni says, it is fair. You have to understand that Vena did not accept the existence of God at all. He ignored Bhagwan. This Shishupala is different. Shishupala is the reverse of Uddhava. Uddhava from childhood saw Krishna and played with that Krishna. His games were Krishna Puja. He ate only Krishna Prasadam. He wore only the clothes worn by Krishna. Like that, he lived his life. Shishupala was the reverse of that. Before he could even speak properly, he started calling Krishna names. His first words itself were insults to Krishna. Like that, he grew up. His games used to be, he used to make a Krishna doll and punch it. And while eating also, he used to, even if it was Thai sadam, but he would pretend that this is Krishna roast and eat that. Like that, he developed intense hatred for the Lord. But he didn't deny Bhagavan's existence. Right? He hated Bhagavan, but he remembered Bhagavan. Now see, Bhagavan is beyond Ninda, Stuti, all this. He doesn't see these gunas because he has nothing to gain from your Stuti, nothing to lose from your criticism. He doesn't need our prayers. What does he see? This Jiva is remembering me. I will remember him. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam tataiva prajamyaham. To Vena Bhagavan, that Bhagavan doesn't exist. So Bhagavan said Vena doesn't exist. That's all. But thus accepted Bhagavan's existence and remembered him intensely. Bhagavan remembered them intensely. And so at the last moment also that intense remembrance was there. He died with Krishna's name on his lips. In anger, no doubt. With hatred, no doubt. But the Nama was there. Liberation. See, there are some very, very important and very beautiful shlokas here. No? I will share with you. I just have to. Okay. Samapriya suhrid brahman bhutanam bhagavan swayam indrasyate katham. Oh, this is the earlier, the doubt of Parikshita. He says, whether you remember with lust, whether you remember with fear, with hatred, with love, with friendship, or with Vatsalya Bhava, like Yashoda Maya, like Dashratha, it doesn't matter. However you remember, but you remember, then your mind becomes filled with thoughts of Krishna, that thought will liberate you. And he gives you the examples. Opyah kamad bhayat kamso dveshat chaidyadayo nrupaha sambandhat krishnaya snehat yuyam bhaktya vayam vibho. Kamat, with lust. The gopis, the young gopis remembered him that we want to marry this, we want him to be our boyfriend, we want to hug him and kiss him and dance with him at night. Okay, their mind became Krishnamaya. Tanmayataham Diyu. Kamsa, out of fear, the eighth child of Devaki is going to kill me. That Krishna is going to kill me. Krishna is going to kill me. Everywhere he saw Apashyat Tanmayam Jagat, it is said. He saw the whole world as Krishnamaya. He saw fear wherever he looked. Anything dark reminded him of Krishna. He saw a peacock, he remembered Krishna. Saw the crow, he remembered the clouds, he remembered Krishna. Everything was Krishnamaya. Here. Out of hatred, Chaitya is Shishupala. Sambandhat Vrishnaya, the Yadu Amsha, the Vrishnis, remembered Bhagavan as their cousin, their nephew, their relative. Have you out of friendship, that friendly love is you, Pandavas, and Bhaktya Vayam. Out of love, Vayam. We see the compassion of Narada. He doesn't say Bhaktya Aham. He includes all of us. You are listening to Bhagavatam, no? Bhakti is there. So you are in Narada's camp. Bhaktya Vayam. We are all in that group. But Katamopina Venasyat Panchanam Purusham Prati. Of all these 5 examples, but none of this was there in Raja Venu. He didn't have any bhava at all towards Bhagavan. Therefore, he didn't get anything. Therefore, Tasmat Kenapi Upayena Manah Krishne Niveshaye. Remember nothing else in Bhagavatam. No, this half a shloka. Take and write it in your heart. Kenapi Upayena. By any means possible. Fix your mind, Manaha, Niveshayet. Let it enter into Krishna. Let your mind become Krishnamaya. We talk about making the heart Vrindavana. Make the heart Krishna itself. See, if we make our heart Vrindavana, the Atma is Krishna. If we make our heart Krishna, the whole world becomes Vrindavan. Everything we do becomes a dance of love. There are 2 different kinds of upasana. It doesn't matter. Krishna upasana or Vrindavan upasana. One is Saguna upasana, the other is Nirguna. Because we see, if we see the world as Vrindavan and my mind as Krishna, that is Saguna. We are looking at the world. We are interacting. If we see everything within ourselves, my heart as Vrindavan, my Atma as Krishna, that is Nirguna upasana. Okay. Now, on to Prahlada Charita. See, what happened? Narada Muni gave the whole history of this Shishupala. He said he was that Jaya Vijaya, he was one of them. Then he became Hiranyakashipu, he became Ravana, he became Shishupala. As Ravana, he was killed by Rama after kidnapping Sita. As Hiranyakashipu, he tortured his son Prahlada and then he was killed by Bhagavan Narasimhadeva. Yudhishthira said, tell me that story. Why did he fight with Prahlada? Prahlada was a very sweet fellow. No? Why did he torture him? I want to know that Prahlada story. After or equal to even Krishna Charitra in Bhagavatam is Prahlada. So what happened is Hiranyakashipu was very angry with Bhagavan. Why? Because as Varaha, Bhagavan killed Hiranyaksha, his brother. So Hiranyakashipu decided, I am going to kill Bhagavan. And then, he started doing tapas, and very intense tapas he did. And he got the boon from Brahmaji that I should not be killed in the daytime or the night. I should not be killed outside the house or inside the house. I should not be killed by a man or an animal. I should not be killed with any weapons. I should not be killed by any being created by you, Brahmaji. Like that, he gave so many conditions. On top of that, he said, I should have the power of all the devatas and I should have the power of all the yogis. Granted. Okay. Then what did he do? Naturally, he kicked out all the devatas, he took over the palace of Indra and he started ruling. He made the devatas serve. Indra was watering the garden. Varuna was supplying water in the kitchen, bathroom, and all that. Hot and cold as required. Agni was his cook. And Surya Bhagavan had to put the lights and all that at night. Like that, all the devatas. Ashwini Kumaras were the massage therapists and doctors and physiotherapists. All that was they were. Only Brahmaji, Bhagavan Vishnu, and Bhagavan Shiva did not come under his control. Everybody else. Narada Muni says, even we had to sing his glories. But why should Mahatmas sing his glories? Seems very strange that they would also capitulate. Devatas, we can understand. They want their post, they want their power. They are not perfect beings. But why should the bhaktas sing the glory of somebody other than Bhagavan? Array, but that Hiranyakashipu is a bhakta of Bhagavan. He is Jaya. And he is very soon going to be united with Bhagavan. And because of him, we are going to have the darshan of Bhagavan Narasimha. Right? Therefore, they sang his glory. Now, while he was doing tapas, here Prahlada was born. He had 4 other sons later, Ahlada, etc. Ahlada, Suhlada, Samya. They are all Hlada. But the best among them, Prahlada. Prakarshaha Hlada, yes, one who has special joy. The one who gives that intense special joy to everybody just by remembering him. What Ananda. That Prahlada, he was born. And see, Shukadevji very specifically turned the conversation to make it so that he's reciting the dialogue between Narada Muni and Yudhishthira, so that Prahlada's glory is told through the mouth of Narada. So Narada Muni is Prahlada's. Imagine so many people just that are dying for one smile of approval, one nod, one well done from their Sadguru. And here the Guru is singing the glories of that Shishya wherever he goes. In fact, in the list of bhaktas, he has overtaken Narada Muni. Prahlada, Narada, Parashara, Pundarika, it comes. No? Prahlada comes first. And that is Narada's greatness. That he was able to raise Prahlada to that level. So now, Narada Muni describes the qualities of Prahlada. ब्रह्मण्यशील संपन्नः सत्यसन्धो जितेन्द्रियः आत्मवत् सर्वभूतानां एकप्रिय सुहृत्तमः दासवत् सन्नतार्याङ्घ्रिः पितृवत् दीनवत्सलः भ्रातृवत् सदृशो स्निग्धो गुरुष्वीश्वर भावनः विद्यार्थरूप जन्माढ्यो मानस्तंभ विवर्जितः विद्यार्थरूप जन्माढ्यो मानस्तंभ विवर्जितः. This half shloka when it comes always throws me off. Anyway, Brahmanya, the one who respected the Brahmanas, the wise people. Sheela Sampannaha, who had all the good graces of behaving in society. This was man of culture. From birth. Satyasandho, he never lied. If he said something, he would do it. It was real. It was true. Jitendriyaha, he mastered his senses. He was not always jumping here and there. He could sit in one place quietly for 1 hour and listen to Bhagavad. Without fiddling with toys, without touching all the things in the room. Somebody is doing it. Atmavat sarvabhutanam eka priya suhrittama. All beings he saw as himself. That is, he saw that if something is there that I don't like, then I feel bad. So if something is there that the other person doesn't like, they will also feel bad. So he treats them in such a way that they don't feel bad. Treat others as you would treat yourself. The golden rule. He lived it. And he saw in every heart Eka Priya Suhrittamah, the most belovedest of all, Bhagavan. That the greatest friend of all beings, the Suhrittama, the ultimate friend of all, the ultimate beloved of all, that Eka, the one without a second, he saw in the hearts of the Dasavat Sannatar Yankri, the great noble people, he served them like a slave. And those who were suffering, those who were poor, those who were miserable, in some pitiable condition, then he was like a father to them, so generous, so loving, he would try to lift them up and help. And if somebody was equal to him, although there's no equal to Prahlad, but supposing somebody was, he felt equal to him in age, social status, wealth, etc., then he treated them like his own brother. Bhratravat Sadrisha Snitto. And if there is Guru Shu is Bahuvachana, but he had only one Guru, Narada Muni. So, they said Bahuvachanam is because of respect. Gurukar, yeah. So, Guru Shu, Ishvara Bhavana, he saw that Guru as nothing but Bhagavan. Vidya, Artha, Rupa, Janmarga. So, Manas Tamba Vivarjita. Vivarjita, he did not have what? Pride, Mana, and Stamba, the arrogance born of that pride. What are the causes for pride? Vidya, learning, Artha, wealth, Rupa, beauty, Janma, a noble birth in a royal family. All this he had in full measure. But he did not have pride, ego, arrogance because of that. Oops. Anudvigna Chitto, Vyasaneshu Nispriha, Shruteshu Drishteshu, Guneshu Avastudrik, Dantendriya Prana Sharirati Sada, Prashanta Kamo, Rahita Suro Suraha. His mind was always at balance, no udvigna, no imbalance, no shaking, no agitation of the mind, caused by fear or by desire. Because he was nispriha, he had no desire for shruteshu, drishteshu, the things that he saw around him or the things that he had heard of. He did not have desire for. Why? Because guneshu avastudrik. He saw everything is made of three gunas. Three gunas themselves are not real. So none of this is real. Atma, Bhagwan alone is real. Therefore, he was Danta. He had total control over his external indriyas and over his mind. The Danta Indriya towards his prana, and towards his sharira, his body, and his mind and intellect, all were totally under his control. Therefore, he was Sada Prashanta Kamaha. No desires arose in him. He was at peace. Indeed, he was Asura by name, but Rahita Asura Asura. He was an Asura without any qualities of an Asura. Like so many of us are Brahmanas without any quality of Brahmana, no? Like that. Gunairalam asankheyair mahatmyam tasya suchyate vasudeve bhagavati yasya naisargiki ratihi. Enough of I can keep describing his glories, but this much is enough. Narada Muni says, Alam. His gunas are asankheya, uncountable, but enough of that. Only one thing is enough to explain his greatness. What is that? Vasudeve, in Vasudeva, Bhagavati, in Bhagavan, Yasya Naisargiki Ratihi, he had natural, permanent, of ever flowing towards God, effortless. Ajya Dharya Snotasasa, like that. Like the ghee, melted ghee falls in one steady stream before it, like that. Having said this, you should continue with the story. But he's not able to stop himself. Again, he goes back to describing the qualities of Prahlada. And here we see the even Vedavyasa's poetry is expanded to its full in describing Prahlada's. Yasta Kridanako Balo Jadavat Tanmanastaya Krishna Graha Grihitatma Naveda Jagadidrisham. Even from childhood, he gave up all his toys. You're not interested in playing and anything. Jadavat, he was like a fool or almost like an inert object. He used to just sit and remember. He'll laugh and smile. And they thought, oh, some planets are wrong or some Bhuta Pisacha has caught him. What Bhuta, what Graha has caught him? Krishna Graha Grihitatma. His heart has been captured by Krishna and taken away. For that Bhuta, that Bhakti Bhuta, there is no solution at all. No exorcism possible. Krishna Graha Grihitatma. And so, na Veda Jagadidrisham, this world that we see, as we see, he was not even aware of that. Then what was he aware of? How did he see the world? Asina Paryatan Nashnan Shayana Prabhuvan Bruvan Nanusandhatta Etani Govinda Parirambhitaha. This is lovely. While you are sitting, Asinaha, Paryatan walking around, Ashnan eating, Shayanaha while lying down, Prapiban while drinking, Bruvan while speaking. He didn't even recognize any of this as real. Whatever he saw, wherever he was sitting, wherever he was walking, wherever he was lying down, whatever he was eating or drinking, whatever he was saying, everything was Govindamaya. He said, I am Govinda Parirambitaha. I am in a Bhagavan's embrace. I am surrounded by Bhagavan only. Everywhere, everything is Bhagavan. He is hugging me so completely. See the picture. I am constantly in his Govinda Pariram. And so all his responses also came from that place. So Kvachit Drudati Vaikuntah Chinta Shabala Chetanaha Kvachit Hasati Chinta Ahlada Udgayati Kvachit. Sometimes he would think, I have forgotten Bhagavan for a moment, then he started crying. Or out of fear, Arey Bhagavan, this Hiranyakashipu is grown so powerful, how will you fight with him? So Chinta Shabala Chetanaha, out of fear for Bhagavan, he would cry. Sometimes he would say, how did I think this Hiranyakashipu can stand in front of us? Kvachit Hasati. And by remembering him, that chinta ahlada, out of total bliss of remembering Bhagavan, udghayati kvachit. He would start singing. Natati kvachit udkhanto vilajo vidyati kvachit chitta bhavana yuktaha tanmayonuchakaraha. Sometimes he would dance, sometimes he would roar, sometimes he would give up all his thoughts, everything, and just sit in samadhi and just melt into Bhagavan. Kvachit utfullakastushnim aste samsparsha nirvitaha aspandana pranayananda salilami vitekshanaha. He would just sit there, remember Bhagavan. At that moment, mosquitoes might bite him, somebody might come and shake him, kick him, call him. But samsparsha nirvitaha, he was not even aware of those sensations outside. Totally silent, the mind silent, the speech silent, the body silent. Aspandana, no movement at all. That ananda state, there was only one teardrop. His closed eyes would fill up with tears, and those tears were flow. That was the only, as he remembered Bhagavan. Let us also do. For 2 weeks, let us hold that image. If we can't remember Bhagavan, let us remember Prahlada, remembering Bhagavan. Pravishyamavachamimaam prasutta Sanjeevayasthakila Shakti Dharaswadhamna Namscha Hasta Charana Shravana Tvagati प्राणान्नमो भगवते आयेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा आत्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि। राम हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्ण हरे। I'm not saying Purnamada because there is no Murti. Just try to remain, hold on to it, remain in that state. Om Shri Guru Pyo Namah. You all have a wonderful fortnight, and we'll see the rest of the Prahlada story. Bhagavan Narasimha is going to come, and that next second we'll end this. Narayana.